Now, today I'm going to talk about how you can fail to grow top line revenue in your MedTech company. Before we do that, I'll spend a few seconds talking about something called loser games. So, loser games are games or two-player or n-player games where most of the people lose most of the time. So, it could be Las Vegas, craps, but certainly loser games like investment, software development, medtech development, early drug development, and cybersecurity, these are all loser games. And in loser games, most of the players are amateurs. So in loser games, you can make a lot more money by avoiding mistakes instead of by making brilliant moves when you're an amateur. So hold that thought, and let's go back to how you fail to grow top line revenue when you're an amateur. So no question is more important when developing and taking a medtech product to market. So start with your goal. You probably have one or four goals at this point in time. I'm not talking about raising money, which I don't think is the goal. I think the goal is one of four things. It's either design, commercial adoption, a deal with a prospective customer who will pay you money, an exit, and regulatory approval. So those are the things that we probably would consider goals. Those are actually five things. So then what we do is we want to analyze how you're going to fail, even though everything looks perfect. And in a real system, that is not my system, not someone else's system, not some guys writing Gen AI on LinkedIn, but in a real system, your system, there are probably going to be five places where you can fail. So the first one is not necessarily in that order, is trial design versus payer expectations. The second place is the label versus actual clinical workflow in a clinic or a hospital. The third place is submission versus the procurement reality in a hospital system. The fourth place is your product versus the integration environment. And there's a lot of talk about APIs and not having APIs and SaaS and not SaaS, but at the end of the day, you do probably have to integrate with someone else, either in the hardware or the software or the network or all three. The fifth place, which is actually a really interesting place to fail, is the power of your clinical evidence. Now, safety and efficacy versus unvalid evidence. Now, most studies, if you look at, say, digital therapeutics, digital health products that say they have clinical evidence are not really randomized, multi-center, double-blind, etc., and therefore they're only minimal value. So think about that. So this is inversion, working backwards from your failures before it's irreversible. Now, what's the result that you want? So you really want four things here. You want where you break, team, product, label, workflow, security, privacy, efficacy, safety, integration, buyers. Did we forget something? No. Number two, the specific scenarios that will block deals or delay clearance. For example, underpowering for safety. Third, economic impact of each failure. So is it binary or is it just maybe losing a small deal? Is it just delaying or is it missed revenue next quarter and the quarter after that? And the fourth place is really what you really want to do is a prioritized plan to fix the failure modes based on cost versus revenue impact. So, you can spend a lot of money, which you probably don't have. And the answer is not to go out and raise more money. The answer is to figure out how to prioritize in the most cost-effective way what you need to do to reduce your failures, assuming that, of course, you know the best of all. Not someone else, not your investor, you.